evening, YouTubers. Just had a delightful lentil soup together with my family, and I thought that I would do another random picks video, the fifth. These numbers were picked by somebody called FrankJames, and he hasn't, I suppose he hasn't made any videos yet, but please do. It's great fun, and we would like to see some of your collection as well. Anyway, 5 different picks. Let's start immediately. I will start with 78 RPM this time, and it's a record recorded in Los Angeles in November 1st, 1944, but issued in 1952. On this, well, we talk about Le Ver 6 featuring Billy May on this Exactly Like You and Very 18 Boogie on the Modern Music label. And this Modern Music label, I think, was a Swedish label, active in the early 50s. There was some very good jazz issues on this label, some other issues that weren't as interesting. I don't remember exactly when I bought this, but I don't suspect it's that long ago. It's quite worn, and it plays quite good anyway. A nice jazz record with a very, I like this red, black and white label. Very much a child of the 50s, even if the recordings on this 78 RPM is from 1944. Right, over to one of my favorite Swedish dance bands, and they have a bit of a cult reputation on internet internationally, because some of their photographs showing this group has been shown on internet, and all laughed at because they looked, it's not the nicest looking group, but still it's a very good orchestra, and it's a group called from Lidköping in Västergötland called Cool Candies. And this is an album called Cool Candies Sound 2. Cool Candies started as early as 1952, I think, and they had played together for 10 years before they had their big breakthrough with when they, during the Twist era when they they had some instrumental hits with twisted versions of Swedish folk songs. The group very much revealed on the solo saxophone of the multi-instrumentalist Gunnar Wahlgren, upper left, who also played the trumpet, the guitar. I think he played vibes, but mainly as a solo saxophone player. We could call him a Swedish version of Ace Cannon, or maybe a Swedish version of Rudy Pompelli, this honking tenor saxophone style. Cool Candies had their second breakthrough in 1970 when their lead singer and bass player Sven-Erik Karlsson, or Sven-Erik Gisbol, who later took the name Gisbol, when he joined the group, and they made their first LP called Godbitar. It wasn't their first LP, but the first LP in a series called Godbitar, which contains mainly vocal numbers, but with the twin saxophone style, with one saxophone playing often the melody and another saxophone playing a bit like some sort of rhythm. The leader of the group was the drummer Einar Svensson, and he also founded the record label Annette. I have showed that label before in this channel because I collect this label. It was the first Swedish label that was started by private person, a musician, out of the major cities like Stockholm, Gothenburg, Malmö. This was started in Lidköping in 1965, I think, 64, 65. Cool Candies was the best-selling group of that label, but we also have a very scarce Swedish prog classic, or we have two very scarce Swedish prog classics. We have the Sound Express, made a record in 1969. One of the members of Sound Express was Björn Persson, and he later left Sound Express and started playing with Cool Candies instead. Here we got him. Yeah, the group Blåkulla, they made one record, and it was on this Annette label. Otherwise, Annette mainly released Swedish dance music, dance band music, and Cool Candies was, of course, the best-selling group on the label. Einar Svensson, the leader, the entrepreneur, and well, in many cases, genius, worked very hard and got bad health, and I think he passed away as early as 1972. He was just 47 years old. This record was issued around 6 months after his death, and they had a new drummer then. It's called Sound 2 because they had their reputation as an instrumental group. They had their breakthrough as an instrumental group, and they made the album series with vocal numbers called Godbitar, and Sound series which contained instrumental hits. This is quite good if you like the kind of Ace Cannon style, Swedified. Mainly we have great version of let's see now, Tango Bolero, Secret Love, Jambalaya, The Do Run Run, Carolina Moon. Great saxophone classics in Sweden. They were imitated by many other dance bands during these years. Yeah. So this album from 1973, I'm very happy that this band turned up because I collect them. And over to another band that I like very much that hasn't got anything in common with the last one. And this group I don't think need any major introduction for those of you outside Sweden, because it's Queen, The Miracle. Not the last one, but the second last with Freddie Mercury as their singer. This is from 1989, and it's a Dutch issue on EMI Parlophone. Let's look at the label. I wouldn't say that this is one of the best Queen albums, but it isn't one of the worst either. I think it's a very good album. We have numbers here like The Miracle, I Want It All, The Invisible Man, Breakthrough. Great hits and a great album by one of the really truly great groups with genius who died way too early, Freddie Mercury, on lead vocals. I'm one of those who really question why Queen has kept on making records, making concerts under the name of Queen, because Queen, in my view, was this group. I mean, John Deacon isn't playing with them either today. It's Brian May and Roger Taylor. But no, I don't see why they needed to do that, because Queen was Freddie Mercury and his group. Okay, over to some British pop from the 60s in the jazz pop style, but an American issue. We got Georgie Fame with Yeah Yeah. That was a big hit for him in 1965. I think this was originally issued by on EMI, Parlophone, or Columbia, I'm not really sure. But this is an issue on Imperial. And I bought this in Sweden, actually, and it wasn't for free. I had to pay a bit for it, but it's a very good album. Good music. We have the big hit, Yeah Yeah, but we also have Let the Sun Shine In, Pride and Joy, Pink Champagne, Gimme That Wine. Great music. I'm a great admirer of Georgie Fame. And we have the Imperial. It looks better if I pick it up. This nice black Imperial label. And a bit of an odd issue because it's an American issue of British music that I found up in northern Sweden some years ago. I think I found it in northern Sweden, I'm not 100% sure. Alright, the final pick here is a record that I showed quite recently in a recent Final Finds video. But I think it's good to remind us of this artist because she is a bit forgotten today, I think. It's Joan Armatrading. And this is an odd issue by Joan Armatrading. It contains 4 new songs not available on any albums. Rosie, How Cruel, He Wants Her, and I Really Must Be Going. And it's presented like an LP, but it isn't. Or it is, but it's on the A&M label, but only music on one side, the other side is blank. So it's an odd issue from 1979. But Joan Armatrading is Joan Armatrading. Great singer, great songwriter. Definitely worth listening to, and she needs more. We need to listen more to her music and talk more about her because I think she's truly great. Right, that was the picks of FrankJames, and this was the end of the random picks video number 5. Hope you found it somewhat interesting. Bye bye.